Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great Friday. You're ready to kick back, relax, and enjoy this weekend. So, got one thing I want to tell you. Don't get bitter, get better. And this kind of goes along with what we talked about yesterday, where you don't have to be perfect. And there are going to be times when things don't go your way in the market. You may have a bad trade, or your internet may mess up, or something may happen that your order somehow doesn't get from your platform to your broker or whatever. It's not about getting bitter. I know sometimes we're going to get upset. It may agitate us, but we have to learn how to play the hand that we're dealt. And it's all about how you play it. Sometimes I got to take a break. I got to cool down for about 5 minutes or so and come back and then think through the thing clearly. Because whatever happened, I don't want it to happen a second time. So, that's how I'm going to play my hand. I'm going to learn from my mistakes, and I'm going to try to make whatever the situation that I'm in at that time, perfect. So you never want to allow a bad trade to become a bad day. Just because your first trade out of the gate may have been bad, if it really bothers you, then stop trading. Don't try to continue to trade. Just let it go. And you see me do that sometimes. You've seen me do it a couple of times this month. And you guys, I'm a successful trader that's doing this for a living. I was doing it 2-3 years before I even started this community. And I've learned a lot. And I know there are times where you have to just walk away. There are times where it's best to just shut down. And you don't want one bad moment, one bad trade to become a bad day. And then you don't want to keep replaying it in your head. Once you file it away, let it go. Get all that garbage and all that extra stuff out of your mind, because when you go to trade again, you need to have a clear mind, a clear head. Okay? And if you're still talking about the negative, there's no way you can be positive, because you're just going to continue to bring all of that negative energy and stuff into your trading, and it's going to make your trades bad. So, get rid of all that excess crap. Get it off your back, and then you can come back and come back better. That's what it's all about. Not getting bitter at things that you may not have any control over. Just get better at how you react to it. I heard, I was listening to somebody speak a while back, and they were talking about the word responsibility. And they broke it down into 2 words, response and ability. And they said your response to anything, when you're taking responsibility for it, is based on your ability to respond to whatever situation that you're being presented with. So, we have to take responsibility for what we do, regardless of it is something we can control or something we can't control. So let's look at my day here. And yeah, I'm going to tell you what happened to me today. Last night, I made a cardinal sin. I started adding up the money I made from this week in the small account. I started calculating to see if I'm green or if I'm still red on the month. I just want to know where I was. So I realized I was just over $200 or just under $200 to the red. To the red, yeah. So I hadn't gotten green yet, and so unfortunately, I wake up and you know what I'm thinking. I need to make $200 a day. I need to make $200 a day, and in my mind would not let me stop until I did it, and I just over traded and traded like a fool. I was scared, and trading scared just limits what you can do. But I'm gonna be straight up with you. I was trading scared today because all I was thinking about was I have the chance to get back green for the month today, and I could not shake it. I could not shake it. And so that kind of rolled over into my trading here. So X was the one that I was kind of focused on. And you can see here we put in the 5-minute opening range. This candle opened and it sold off. And I got in, under this level. I wanted to get in under 34.50 because you can see here pre-market, this is where we bounced. So I waited. I got in up under here, and we kind of pulled back up after I got in, and we pushed up a little bit, ended up selling off. Now, if you've ever traded X, or if you've been in the community for a while, you know me and X, we have this love-hate relationship. It's very tough to trade in a small account. In a large account, I just throw shares at it and let it go. Because I know eventually it's going to do what we're looking for it to do. But it's going to chop around and chop you out. Being in a small account, I have to manage my risk. So I know it can chop me out. So, and it came true on the first trade. I got in, got my cover here. And I took it off because I noticed a momentum shift coming. And if you were listening in chat, that's just what I said, and that's why I took a piece off here. And sure enough, it made the run up and pull back a little bit, and then this candle opened and it ran up and stopped me back out at break even. This candle almost did. This candle went back up and stopped me out at break even. So I waited and reset when I felt we were rolling over. Here, reset, and I just got terrified. I took some off right at my point. I wanted to take some off here at what was it, 33, around 33.50. Yeah, I wanted to take some off around 33.50. So I actually got a little bit better. I got some out at 33.42. And then I just saw it bouncing around. And I'm like, ew, I just ended up taking it off. Scared. There's no other way you can put it. I was scared this thing was going to turn around and I was going to lose my profit. What was in the back of my mind? I got to make $200, so I can't give back anything. And so it caused me to miss this whole move. Now, I probably would have covered all of it here, and this is where my target was. And then I would have only missed this move, which would have been okay. But this, I just got scared out of and missed the best move that this stock made all day. So I waited. I was watching this at lunch. I was still letting this thing fester. Remember we talked about negativity and making sure you get rid of it. This was a case where I didn't get rid of it. So I knew I shouldn't have got in down here. Look how sold off we were. But I got in anyway, and ended up getting stopped right back out. So the people the people in the restaurant, I know I might have scared them when I yelled out something when I got stopped out. But, I was mad at myself because I know I shouldn't have been doing that. And, I just let it work. Let it work. And once we couldn't break VWAP here, we pulled back, it bounced. And once it rejected here, I'm thinking, I got you now. So I got in, and I was expecting it to pull back down here through 32 and test these lows here. But I took some at the $half mark, and then we turned around and it bounced and stopped me out. Same thing it did up here. So I'm like, damn. So I waited, and it really didn't set up for me to get in until I was on the road going to get my son. So I got in here and just kind of put it on autopilot. This was at 32.10 is where I had that cover. And this, actually, I accidentally, no, this was at 33.25. This was supposed to be at 33, and I took it off and didn't realize I didn't take all of it off. I forgot I had a $75 share order here, and had to take the rest of it off here. But I just over traded this. I over traded it because I was just determined to make my $200 today. And I stopped. I knew I needed to quit, but I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. And being scared to lose money is what messes up a lot of new traders. I think the only reason I got out of this today is because over time I developed the skill that I can make money doing stuff like this. But it's not ideal. It's not something that you want to do consistently, or do it over and over again. So this FLEX, this is another one that I took at lunch. And again, there's no reason for me to take this off. None. I'm getting ready to get out my car, and I'm like, well, I'll just take it off, and we'll see. It may pull back up here, and I'll get back in it. But I never did. And see, all I had to do was get in it and just leave it. Let it go. It never gave me any reason to get out of this trade. Never. And this would have been solid. But again, that scared mentality, scared to lose money because you don't want to, mess up, just cost me the rest of this big trade. And if you do come in the market like that, things are going to continue. It's just you're going to continue to trade that way, And you can see, commissions ate me up today. 21 tickets. 21 tickets, $103 in commissions. This is why you don't overtrade, and you shouldn't have to overtrade. You shouldn't have to. I should have had half of these tickets. I should have had like 10 tickets. But that's something that we'll fall into, this trap every now and then. Everybody does. But just recognize it, and we got to move on. And this NTNX, this was just an accident. I was looking at this. We had a news thing came out, and I don't trade this way. This is not me. But I accidentally hit the, I got this gaming mouse. It's got buttons all over the place, and that accidentally hit a button when I was trying to type it in, and I wanted to see what was going on. So I just took it right off. It happened to be the right thing to do, because you see it turned around and bounced up. Now here's where I would have gotten short, right up in here, if I was going to trade this. I like, for my news plays, I like for the initial hit to come, I wait for it to retrace at least half the initial move, and then if it sets up to come back, I know it's legit, I can get back in. But the long side too, it's just, you just flip it. Same strategy. But that was garbage. Microsoft, I thought we had this nailed. It had a nice sell-off. It bounced and rejected here at the 100. Pulled back. It tried it again. Rejected. Once we established that we lost the 20 and the 9 here, that's when I got in. Here's one of those that it set up. It confirmed. And then it turned around and fell. And then it, grinded its way up the whole time. So, that one didn't work out good. But, I had my risk tolerance in place. And only lost about 48. Well, let's just round it up to 50. Only lost like $50 on it. And that's what I like to do on these. So that was my day trading day. So we did make, this is the biggest day in the small account, but gross over trading. That's all I can say. So I can't feel proud about it, but I grinded this thing out and we ended up 227.95. Would have loved to keep a lot more of that 346, but just too many trades, too many tickets today. All right, so for the all-day hold, EXPE was on my radar. We had the big push-up and pull back. We never got back up to this point. And when I see this, I look to short this thing the rest of the day. I look for it to pull back. If it can't break the initial high on the first spike, then I'm looking for this to the short side. And so we got it. It's set up. I got in, hit my first target, and just like almost every day this week, this thing turned around, went back and stopped me out. And this thing was so volatile, I did get about 20 cent slippage on it or more on my stop. But this was jumping around, pretty big. And, it nailed me. So you can see it never really settled for me and set up for me to get back in. So I just called it a day in this account. It's a 505.62. It's not bad. Obviously, I wanted more. But hey, it is what it is. And now, here's one that the news came out that the deal between T-Mobile and Sprint is going to be finalized and signed on Sunday. So I'm like, you know what? This really doesn't have a whole lot of risk in it. So if I'm wrong, it's not going to go down but so much. If I'm right, I can make a killing on this thing. So I took 1,000 shares of Sprint to hold over the weekend. Now, what I was noticing is you can see all through this, I was seeing $6.50 and $7 prints go through. And they weren't showing up on level 2. These were just going through. And I mean, a ton of them were going through. So that led me, or leads me to believe that there is something going on. So I'm hoping that it's going to be, excuse me, positive. I'm looking for it to be positive. So, you know, there's this movie I watched, Margin Call, where this guy says, you know, you either be first, smarter, or cheat. You know, don't cheat. Cheaters typically get caught. And it's easier to be first than to be smarter. So I'm looking to be first in this. But I did weigh the risk before I got in. I didn't just jump in blindly. So, you know, I feel this is a good risk reward trade. And then, you know, this made me even more confident when I saw these prints. I tried to catch a $7 print too, but I couldn't. But believe me, there was a ton of these going through time and sales. A ton of them. So I just threw a bid out at $6.50, or an order out at $6.50, to see if I would get hit with one of these dark pool orders, but it won at $7. But, you know, no luck on it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens come Monday morning. I'm looking for a gap up on this. All right. So, here is the dirty, the good, the bad, and the dirty. All right. So you can see the first couple of weeks, really bad. I was trading with the wrong mindset. A lot of these trades, a lot of these days on these trades, I was up over $150 on them. When I went back and looked at it, I was up where I should have been taking profit. But I was trading with the wrong mentality. I was trading like it was a larger account, and not that I was in the small size that I was in, and it just didn't work out. And you can see once we figured it out, you know, I addressed everything on Thursday, let everybody know what changes I was going to make. And so far, 5 green days, 1 red day. The red day is right in containment. And I did let this go a little bit further, but not much further. So this was contained. So for the week, and yeah, you know, I overtraded to my $200 that I needed. For the week, 503.24. Not bad. That's $100 a day average. And we traded extremely conservative. There were a couple of days where I traded the morning and shut it down. We didn't trade anything the rest of the day. In a couple of days like that. But you have to lock in profit. I've been red 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And I needed to be green this week. So to make sure, once I nailed that trade, my first trade, I locked it up. Nailed the first trade, locked it up. And see, 503.24, and I'm finally green on the month. So, one more day. I got Monday. And I might not trade Monday. I might just sit on top of my hands and not trade so that I could finish the month green. You know, but I know that's the wrong mentality to come in with, so I'm not going to do that. But a couple things I got to say about SureTrader. I have not had any problems with any orders, nothing. You know, we had the one day this month that they had trouble updating the buying power because, you know, iBoss didn't update. Whatever the case is, you know, and everybody's crying about sure traded this, sure traded that. Look, it's our choice whether we put money in there. So I accept responsibility for whatever happens. If they take all my money, they took all my money. I accepted that responsibility when I sent it over there. Yeah, I did my homework, and I realized that a lot of the problems people were complaining about were problems because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't understand. They signed all this paperwork and never read it. Never read the fees. Never understood. You know, there are people complaining about stocks that they put on restricted lists, that they restrict margin. Okay, when you trade on margin, whose money are you trading with? You know, it's not your damn money. It's Sure Trader's money. And if they say this stock is too volatile and I don't want to risk my capital on it with you trading it, then it's their prerogative. And they say if you want to trade it using your capital, go for it, man. That's all they're saying. You know, they're smart enough to know, hey, I'm dealing with inexperienced traders. Some may be experienced, you know, but most are inexperienced. And they are going to protect their capital. So when you're trading on margin, you're not trading your money. It's not yours. They're saying they don't want to take the risk. And when they say that, you probably want to think twice about taking the risk too. And all of it is on those low priced, low float garbage stocks. Yeah, you can make a ton of money on it, but you can lose a ton of money as well. And there are more hoops you got to go through. So I stay away from them. Every trade I took this month so far, not one has been restricted or anything. No restrictions. That's why I trade the mid cap stocks that I trade, because 99% of the time I'm gonna find shares to short, and they're not gonna be restricted, and that's why I do it. So I don't have anything bad to say about Sure Trader. Nothing right now. You know, I had issues with them when they were making the server change back in October. But it looks to me like they got their act together. But everybody that's having problems are the people that are trading these low dollar, low float stocks. You know, and that's the exact reason why I stay away. Alright, so in the swing, in my all-day hold, where I do my all-day holds and swing trades, you can see I got some zeros throughout here where first 2 weeks I didn't really trade. Those days there was nothing to trade. It was very slow. And the last 2 weeks, you know, we've been running them up. Now I had 2 slow days this week, on Wednesday and Friday, and both of these stocks gave me the initial move, but then ran back and stopped me out. And I just didn't get back in anything. So, and I think this day I didn't take an all-day hold. Okay, this was from the first profit I took on BNY. That's what this came from. So Wednesday I didn't even take an all-day hold. But today, you know, that one we looked at just didn't work. Alright, so that's it. That's where I'm at right now. Again, I'm going to be working on these swing trade changes so that I can update the website and give you, you know, my watch list and all of that, my entries and exits and all of that good stuff. So I'll be working on that this week. Hope I should have it up and running by May 1st. So we'll look for it then. So you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday.